Good morning. It is 7:33 a.m. on Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. It is, I'm telling you. I would know. Okay, I mean, I guess you don't have to believe me, but people these days are so interesting. Uh, so, after I spent the evening yesterday uh, doing a little bit more work on my new computer setup. Now, when I say new computer setup, it's interesting because this project kind of started as, well, I want to upgrade my computer again, which I've done several times over the course of my current computer's lifetime. New video card a couple of times, new memory, new hard drives, stuff like that. But what I realized this time is that because of those previous upgrades, the one thing that really kind of needs to be upgraded now is the actual central, the central processing unit, the CPU. But the new CPUs all need a different kind of motherboard than I have. So, okay, well, new CPU and new motherboard. But motherboard, the new motherboards wouldn't fit in my case. And would probably need a different power supply in any case. So, okay. So I guess I need a new case and a new motherboard and a new power supply. Oh, and by the way, all that new memory that I just recently bought for the old configuration won't fit in the new motherboard. Um, yeah. Oh, by the way, that new power supply I need, yeah, that doesn't actually come with a case. You have to buy that separate. And so, at a certain point, it becomes that ship of Theseus question of like, at which point am I really building a brand new computer that I will then just transfer over the video card and the mother and the hard drive for? But in any event, it actually proved a little more complicated than I was anticipating, hooking up the case and the power supply and all of that. See, I guess for some reason, some of the power supply and case stuff I kind of in my head assumed were going to be like when I bought the case in my head, I thought that it would have the power supply in it, and it somehow didn't actually check, and then sure enough it didn't, because of course it wouldn't, and I don't know why I thought it would. But yeah, so in any event though, the manuals were good, and I have a little bit of experience connecting various things like that, so put it all together. I haven't powered it all up yet, but I've gotten it to the point now where the next step would be to go ahead and take my current video card and hard drives and put it over in the new computer and then see if I can start it up. I'm going to wait to do that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to do that maybe tomorrow because I've got so many levels tonight, and I don't want to risk having no computer available for it. Um, just in case something about my new setup just doesn't work. But yeah, so that should be, a, a new project, and that should be fun. I'm looking forward to playing around with that. In the meantime, there's also Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is such an interesting game in the sense that, like, in this sort of current time where everyone's looking for ways to get away from the stresses of real life, Animal Crossing is kind of about stresses, but in a way that tries to defang them a little bit, right? Like, in theory, what Animal Crossing is about is paying off a home loan having to be certain places at certain times, um, having a limited number of choices, having to decide how to decorate your house. And a lot of those things are, in and of themselves, could be seen as stressful by a lot of people. But the way the game presents it, it's like, well, you're paying off a home loan, but it's also a home loan with zero interest, pay whenever you want, and only, you only take on the debt, if you want your house to get bigger. So, it's like, we'll make your house bigger first, and then you theoretically owe this much, but just pay it off whenever you feel like it. Zero interest, right? That's, yeah, okay. And then, sure, you have to be certain places at certain times in real life because it uses the real clock, which is interesting. So, like, if you make an appointment with your little Animal Crossing neighbor to meet them at their house at 4 o'clock, you've actually got to play it at 4 o'clock, unless you want to change your system settings, which is, I mean, I guess you could, but why though? But at the same time, the stakes are really low, right? Because if you get to go, then it's like, oh, you get to walk around their little house and chat with them virtually for a little while, and it's all very silly. And if you miss it, they say, oh, hey, come on, I thought we were going to meet. And then it's it. So it's about making real life with all of its complications, but then sanding all the sharp edges off. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.